Just another day in Canada filled with insane disappointment. You know, our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, he campaigned on the promise that he was going to stand up to Trump and get the best deals for Canada possible. And he was even going to just stick it to America and say, you know what, we're going to go and we're going to trade with the rest of the world, because if America doesn't want to work with Canada, then we're going to stick it to them. And so far, Canada's now got 35% tariffs across the board on America as a, punishment for barking at, the world superpower. Mark Carney is hiding, I don't know, on vacation. Who knows what he's doing. Then you also have Trump, who's now signed the biggest deal with Europe. So this whole deal that Mark Carney was saying that Canada's going to get with Europe, Trump came in and got the biggest transaction from any country ever in the history of the planet. This is insane. And Trump is going to talk about it. He's going to brag about it. That's supposed to be Canada's deal. Just like the Japan deal that America got with LNG and all that stuff. Canada was supposed to have that deal. And Trudeau said, yeah, no, we don't want to trade LNG with Japan. Like, it's ridiculous what's going on. Canada is literally a sinking ship. And that's why so many people are wanting to jump overboard. And we're going to break it down all in this video. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I really want to encourage everyone to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It's pretty much the only thing that we have left in Canada that doesn't have tariffs, at least not yet. And since we are talking about all this craziness, we have to talk about the best way to protect yourself online in today's digital world, which is a perfect introduction into today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by today's sponsor, Private Internet Access. If you're fed up with government censorship and the government tracking and then selling your data, well, boy, oh boy, do I have a fix for you. Private Internet Access, my go-to VPN, is the best way to cloak yourself so that you can browse the internet anonymously. Also unlocks a whole bunch of censored news here in Canada, which is the Liberals' quota. In addition to that, when you have Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, it allows you to access content that is restricted by this country. So you can use American Netflix, French Netflix, Italian Netflix, whatever it is that you want. There are so many benefits to Private Internet Access, but my favorite is the fact that it works on so many different devices. One subscription protects unlimited amount of devices at the same time. You can also change your IP address to more than 91 countries around the world. If you use my link down below in the description or the pinned comment below, you'll get 83% off Private Internet Access today. Alternatively, you could go to piavpn.com/sunshine to get the exact same discount. Thank you, Private Internet Access, for sponsoring today's video. So lots of crazy stuff happening in Canada. And we're going to start off with the most trending topic that was, going on this weekend. This singer, Foch. He's a MAGA enthusiast. He came to Canada to sing at churches and worship the Lord Jesus Christ. And he's been attacked by police. He's been attacked with smoke bombs by Antifada. He's being attacked by these Palestinian protesters. It's super bizarre. And the media is smearing his name everywhere, when all he wants to do is just worship God.
Will you do the show tonight, sir?
Oh, of course. We're not stopping.
Sure.
We don't back down for anything.
Excellent.
But I do want to say this. The police have been amazing. These guys are so kind and so hospitable, and they've just been amazing
What did they
all
say to
day
you?
long.
What did they say to you?
So we're really grateful. I mean, we're grateful that, that they would show up, that they would warn us about how the anti-Christian bigotry is strong in this city. I haven't done a lot of stuff in Montreal, but that's what they were warning me, that the attacks against Christians is a real thing. And I appreciate that. I think that that's a really good thing to have police officers that are standing up for the freedom of worship. So I commend them.
But it's because you don't have the permit to have your concert.
I don't think you need a permit to worship in a church.
You don't have to, because it's Religious Freedom Radio Canada. It's religious freedom. You know that? Religious freedom. You don't need.
Stupid. You so stupid, CBC. Radio Canada, you need a permit to be in insurance. Shut the hell up. No, you don't. It's getting out of control. It's getting out of control. So much so that you've got headlines coming out like this. Montreal fines local church for hosting MAGA affiliated musician. Oh my freaking God. He's now facing a $2,500 fine. This show runs counter to the values of inclusion, solidarity, and respect that are championed in Montreal. Freedom of expression is one of our fundamental values, but hateful and discriminatory speech is not acceptable. So they're saying that, what? Praising the Lord? Jesus Christ, is hateful? A ticket was issued because the organization violated the regulations by going ahead with the shows. Oh my goodness. So attack on Christians is just never been more apparent. And I even posted this on X and it blew up. I didn't even know. 14,000 likes. What the heck is going on? So in Canada, Muslims can pray all over the streets and sing about eradicating Jews from the Middle East. But how dare a Christian singer worship leader come to Canada and worship Christ? Like, in a place of worship, and he's under attack, but you can go and you spew your religious views outside of a place of worship as long as it's not Christian, and it's absolutely okay. What the hell is going on? How did Canada become such a fallen country? It's disgusting. It makes me embarrassed to say I'm Canadian. When I used to travel, I used to tell proudly that I was Canadian, the world, because you didn't want to be American, because America had like a reputation of, just being certain ways, and now it's the opposite. Now I would rather lie and say I'm not from Canada. Where are you from? I don't even know. I don't even know what place I'd like to brag about. Maybe America. I don't know, but I'm definitely not afraid. I'm definitely embarrassed of being Canadian at this point. Oh my goodness. And the embarrassment doesn't continue there. The Canadian passport continues to lose power. Global ranking report suggests. Okay, so how this is determined is kind of interesting. Visa-free destinations, right? Where your passport, you can just enter countries and you don't need a visa. Canada is now going down to the 8th place, where we can only enter 184 countries visa-free. So I take that with what you will, but our Canadian passport is losing its value every single day. And I mean, I can't blame it. People aren't proud to be Canadian. There's like the elbows up chicken dancers, sure, but the average Canadian is like, what the hell is wrong with my freaking country? Especially when you got a prime minister who goes around and talks like this, that our phone is ringing off the hook. We got so much trade lined up, everybody, so much trade. Listen to Prime Minister Mark Carney just recently say this to the media.
CTV News. Can you elaborate on what that means to get a good deal for Canada? Tangibly, what does that include? And if we can't get there, will Canada retaliate?
Well, the first thing is we're working positively for a deal. We'll take stock if there isn't one that works, but that depends on the overall circumstance. That's the first. The elements of what's positive, and let's start from the position of, really the longest standing and one of the largest trading relationships in the world between Canada and the United States, a relationship until recently that had been tariff-free, a relationship that has many integrated sectors, including the auto sector, the steel sector, the energy sector, and beyond. And so a good deal is something that preserves, reinforces, and stabilizes those relationships as much as possible. A good deal is also one that doesn't tie our hands in terms of other things that we can do so that we can pursue that positive agenda that we focus so much of our time on. And maybe just to go back to the start of your question, look, we have a lot to do in this country. We have a lot positive to do in this country, building this country in a way, building one Canadian economy. Our phone is ringing off the hook from other countries who want to do more with Canada. I've had over 80 bilaterals with world leaders since I became Prime Minister. A number of those premiers have been on major trade missions. We have other things to do, and so we're going to focus more and more of our time on those positive aspects going forward. Thank you.
Our phone is ringing off the hook, which is why Canada has done the biggest deal in Canadian history with Europe, right? Well, no, that's actually not the case. Our phone is not ringing off the hook. People are not lining up to do trade with Canada. People are lining up to do trade with America, even when there are additional tariffs. America is this shiny, awesome, most foot traffic mall that's ever been constructed. It's the cream of the crop. Like if you're Canadian, West Edmonton Mall, but on crack on steroids. Insane. Huge. Marble floors, chandeliers. It's incredible. And you have a bunch of business owners that want a spot in the shopping mall, that want to be a kiosk, that want to be part of the food court, that want to have a storefront, whatever it is. So you have to pay rent to be in the mall. You have to pay your dues. You can't just get a free ride. That's what's going on right now. Trump is saying you want to be in America, you want to do business here, you got to pay rent. That's the barrier to entry. Canada seems to live in this privileged elitism mindset that we don't have to pay rent because we're neighbors with the mall owner, right? We're neighbors with the biggest mall in the world, so we should just get free access. And that's not the case at all. As you're going to see, the biggest trade deal in the history of Earth ever, $600+ billion going into America. Oh my goodness. So Trump announces trade framework deal with European Union that puts 15% tariff on European goods. This is wild. The United States has struck a framework deal with Europe imposing a 15% import tariff on most European goods and averting a spiraling road between two allies who account for almost a third of global trade. Let's now take a look at a series of these videos talking about trade. This one in particular has to do with the August 1st deadline.
No. The August 1st is there for everyone. The deals all start on August 1st. Most of the deals, other than steel and aluminum, which we've been getting 50% tariffs from, I guess, just about everybody, and those have come in, and we've taken in, hundreds of billions of dollars just on steel and aluminum. You've seen the numbers. We had a tremendous amount of money come in over the last month, and it's coming in, very rapidly, which is fair. We have a lot of steel mills and plants, aluminum mills and plants being built. We have a lot of AI being built, and we have a lot of auto plants being built or going to be built. Because they don't want to pay tariffs. So, if they don't want to pay tariffs, the best way to do it is just build your plant in the United States. Yeah, no.
There you go. You don't want to pay tariffs, just build your plant in the United States. A smart business move for Canada would be, hey, America, we understand that you want to scale, you want to build more plants. Why don't you have a plant come here in Canada where you have to hire maybe 30% of your workforce from Canadians, and we'll let you use our land and you can conduct some business here. And that's like a sign of good faith. Like that would be something good for Canada to do. It would bring jobs into America. It would show, hey, you know what? Canada's willing to work with America, and maybe there's an expansion from there. But instead of Canada having that mentality, we're stuck looking at headlines like this, where the biggest trade deal ever was conducted just this morning.
So we're going to do the following. The European Union is going to agree to purchase from the United States $750 billion worth of energy. $750 billion worth of energy. They are going to agree to invest into the United States $600 billion more than they're investing already. So they're investing a large amount of money. You know what that amount of money is. It's very substantial, but they're going to invest an additional $600 billion. They're agreeing to open up their countries to trade at zero tariff. So that's a very big factor. Opening up their countries, all of the countries will be opened up to trade with the United States at zero tariff. And they're agreeing to purchase a vast amount of military equipment. We don't know what that number is, but it's the good news is we make the best military equipment in the world, so sort of you have to do that. Until somebody tops us, which is not going to happen. We're way ahead of every other country in terms of the quality of the military equipment. You saw that recently in Iran, and you see that, unfortunately, you see that often for all the wrong reasons, right? So those things are 750 billion, 600 billion, opening up the country. We are agreeing that the tariff straight across for automobiles and everything else will be a straight across tariff of 15%. So we have a tariff of 15%. We have the opening up of all of the European countries, which I think I could say were essentially closed. I mean, you weren't exactly taking our autos, you weren't exactly taking our agriculture, and then you would have smaller things, but for the most part it was closed. And now it's open. It's open for our companies to go in and do a good job with it. I think you'll like them. I think you'll like it. And we will, very importantly, they'll be investing a lot of money, but the military is a big number, but that's one number we're not determining. It's going to be whatever it is, but they're going to be purchasing hundreds of billions of dollars worth of military equipment. They're very importantly, they're going to purchase $750 billion worth of energy. So that's going to be great. And $600 billion worth of investments into the United States over and above what they have. So, and I think that basically concludes the deal. I mean, those are the main factors. I don't think there are too many other factors, other than we're going to get along great. And we have a great relationship now with NATO, which is largely the same. I mean, not exactly, but pretty close, right? Largely. And with NATO, as you know, they're going up to 5% from 2%, and the relationship is very strong with NATO. So I just want to congratulate you. I think it's great that we made a deal today instead of playing games and maybe not making a deal at all. I think it's. I'm going to let you say, but I think it's the biggest deal ever made. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you conduct business with not just America, but with Donald Trump. That's insane. I mean, why is Canada fighting that? Canada would rather go to Europe, but we don't have a freaking leg to stand on. America just went to Europe and undercut Canada in every single way. Canada is going to be left behind. You understand that our infrastructure, all of our roads, all of our water lines, everything in Canada was built many years ago, 50, 60 years ago. The core, the foundation of our infrastructure was built under a algorithm that was supposed to be based off of steady immigration and steady population growth. That, you know, it's just like a bottle. Okay, you close the bottle, open the bottle, close the bottle, open the bottle. Well, I could sit here and I could do this 15, 20 times a day. That's what the bottle is meant for. But if I sit here and do this 10,000 times a day, my water bottle will probably break in a few days. That's what's going on with Canada. All of our infrastructure is going to crumble. Our cities are not made to support overpopulation. We need money. We need growth. Why aren't we doing that? Because we have idiot liberals that are running the show. There's a reason why Toronto, every time there's a massive rainfall, are like economic powerhouse, right? So much money comes out of Toronto, and the city floods all the time. The highways flood all the time. The highways aren't meant to support however many millions of people there are today. It was meant to support how many millions of people there were way back in the day with a steady growth. But our liberal government has been flooding the gates, letting people in. Our roads are getting overly abused, like doing this 10,000 times a day. This has a 50,000 open close lifetime capacity. So if you do it too much, too fast, you're just going to blow your load and you're not going to be able to sustain. And that's the perfect analogy. There's probably so many better, but that's all I can think of right now on the fly. That is the state of Canada. So we need money to be able to fix our infrastructure, not even just put more money into our military, not expand into other ventures, but just to fix our infrastructure so that we don't crumble. It's pathetic. It's very sad. And here you have the European Union congratulating Trump on the biggest deal that's ever been made in the history of ever.
You're known as a tough negotiator and deal maker. what is in front, and fair, and what is in front of us.
That's less important.
If we are successful, I think it would be the biggest deal each of us has ever struck. So I'm very much looking forward.
Ever struck by anybody? That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Right now we have that honor goes to Japan. We just struck a deal with Japan, as you know, and we're very close to a deal with China. We really sort of made a deal with China, but we'll see how that goes. And we have numerous other deals, and mostly I'm just going to charge tariffs, and it's not a deal per se, but people are going to pay tariffs, and we're doing them at the low end, not the high end, because we don't want to hurt anybody. And pretty well, but you and I both figured this is really the biggest trading partnership in the world, so we should give it a shot, right?
Yeah. Very much looking forward to that.
Oh, thank you very much.
See, people are excited to be in that shopping mall, and Canada is not. Canada lives in this dystopian world where we are the elite somehow of the world, which doesn't make any sense. Carney thinks that he's an elite. No, he's not, bro. Like, it doesn't even matter. The state of California produces more, sold more cars in the state of California alone than all of Canada. Canada is nothing. We're not even a grain of salt in a patch of hay. We're tinier than that. It's crazy that our liberal government can't even get in front of our own people who are not dumb. I mean, a good part of the population seems to be dumb by voting liberals, but the goal should be work with America, work with the flow, where the world is heading. And it's going to be America first. The whole world sees it. That's why you have Japan saying, hey, let's make the biggest deal with America, the biggest era, the biggest in the world. And they just did it. And now, a week later, he tops it with Europe. I mean, give me a break. Don't you want a piece of the pie, Canadians? Don't you want success, better road, better infrastructure in our country? Aren't you sick and tired of this freaking shit show that we live every single day? Our homeless, our freaking drugs, like everything is a mess. And we have an opportunity to fix it. And the old people who voted liberal ruined it. So I guess we just have to wait till they all die off. Is that the only option that we have? It's kind of crazy. I know there's a lot of old people that voted conservative. Don't get me wrong. It's not that old people are the problem. It's people that are voting liberal that are the problem. And a lot of them just happen to be these old people who don't care about their children, who don't care about their grandchildren, who don't care about the future of this country. And the future of this country seems like we're heading towards total collapse if we can't make a freaking deal with America, man. It's crazy to me. The phone is ringing. Really, Mark Carney? The phone is off the charts and it's ringing. My ass. My freaking ass. Anyways, I could rant about this all day, but we're going to cut it short. It's a beautiful Sunday. Hope everyone's enjoying the weather wherever it is that you are. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. And just remember that supporting the channel sponsor is a way of supporting the channel. I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.